But today I need to talk about some very serious issues, and that is knife crime. London is one of the greatest cities in the world, but our deepest, darkest moment comes when one of our teenagers is stabbed on the streets in this great metropolis where we should have the funding, we should have the politicians, we should have the ideas to prevent this from happening, and yet it continues to happen, and it strikes fear through all of us in our younger generation. We need to talk about that. I also want to talk about how the reason that's happening is because the mayor has systematically defunded our community centers over the past 5 years. And I've done an entire 1-hour show about this. It's on my website under Real Deal, but I'll be talking about those numbers today. Again, I'll share some of them later, but systematically defunded it, fired youth workers, and then he puts his hands up and says, well, I don't know why the knife crime is there. It's about time that he takes responsibility, that we hold him accountable, and I have the solutions to solve both of these issues. I've spoken to senior members in the Metropolitan Police, senior members in the community, and people like Jamal Edwards, the founder of SBTV, who has already secured private funding from both Google and the Wellcome Trust to invest in his own community centers in Acton. I'm talking about Friary Park and some others that he grew up with, that he's done an amazing job with, and I want to share with you some of his ideas. But before we get started, I want to hear from you. That's why I'm here. That's why I'm streaming live. I want to answer your questions right here in a transparent way. This is a new way of doing politics, a new way of leading the community where I'm responsible for your questions, and you get to ask me hard questions. So ask me hard questions. Leave them now, whatever platform you're on. First of all, tell me, what borough do you live in, and what's your biggest challenge? And also tell me what's the question that you want to ask me wherever you are in the world. Second of all, tell me, do you think the current levels of daily knife crime on our streets are acceptable? Should the mayor step up and take responsibility for the 15 stabbings and the 2 killings we saw 2 weekends ago, and also the killing of Sven Badzak, the 22-year-old that was out getting orange juice at Waitrose, and now he's dead. We heard his mom talk about that. The question is do you think those levels are acceptable, and do you think the mayor should be held responsible? Next, I want you to answer this question. Do you think it was fair for the mayor to defund community centers and lay off youth workers during his 5-year term and abandon our children? And do you think that independent candidates like us should be banned from campaigning by the police while the mayor is out there right now flaunting the rules by what I call campaigning in disguise, by forcing key workers like nurses and police to participate in his daily photo ops and his conveniently timed press releases? I think this is unacceptable. We are being persecuted by the police for being out here campaigning in a COVID-safe manner, and yet the mayor is out there with his daily photo ops, not with social distancing, out there doing the same thing. I think it's unacceptable, and I want to talk about that more today. Finally, do you think we need new leadership? Do we think we need new vision? And do you think we need new ideas to take London in a new direction? So please leave me your comments. They're literally being beamed to my iPad right now, and I'm going to talk about them later today. Where are we now? Well, we're going through the boroughs right now of Newham and of Tower Hamlets and Hackney, but we're also day 29 on the bus. It's hard to believe. We've been on this bus nearly a month. We've logged over 2,000 miles. That means I could have gone from here to Scotland, back to London, back up to Scotland, back down to London, probably with some change left over to head out to Oxford. But we've done it in this city. We've gone to every single one of the 32 boroughs in this city twice, and we're going to keep going until we find out what is on the mind of the voters and how we can make change in this city and take your lives to the next level. We're super proud of what we accomplished here. Now look, it started off a little bumpy, and I'm going to talk about how we were detained, fined, and banned by City of London police officers, but we kept at it, stayed on the road, and it's been a tremendous success. Our website has blown up. 3.5 million unique visitors on our website, brianformayor.london. If you haven't gone yet, go now and check it out. I've got 12 detailed policies. You can volunteer, you can share our assets. Over 850,000 shares of the Brian for Mayor website. And so far, our content has been consumed 1.2 billion times. That's all of the videos of our ideas. That's our social posts. That's everything. So we're super excited. And last week, our volunteer campaign kicked off. And last Wednesday, 2 nights ago, I had the first video call with what I call my inner circle group of Brian for Mayor volunteers. We have a private Facebook group. We meet every night. They're going to be joining me on the campaign trail, joining me on the bus, and joining me for the inauguration party. And we got some big names lined up, and I can neither confirm nor deny if Kanye West will be there, the Rolling Stones, and a bunch of other acts, but it's going to be a big party, and we're excited for everyone to come for that once we become your next mayor of London on May 6th.